Hi, so welcome back again to another episode of Japan Business Time After Work Edition with
Rochelle Kopp.
And today we have a bit of a story that was shared with us by one of our regular commenters, Silvie Monk. And so Rochelle's going to share with us that story.
Yes.
And I think we're both going to give our takes on that. A story about basically getting stood up.
Basically, yes.
Yes. It's shocking. You don't want to miss this. Right, so this was a really interesting one. And it's kind of, when we saw this topic, we kind of thought, well, I can't really talk about that. But we found ourselves talking
about it, yes.
More and more about it.
Right.
Even though I completely can't relate to the story at all. It's so interesting we have to share it.
Okay, yes. Okay, so the story is, this is related by someone that Silvie knows. And so Gaijin guy working at a Japanese company in Japan, he goes there his first day and he's greeted by a very beautiful woman in the office. And she says to him, "Oh, we should have dinner sometime." And he's thinking, wow, I'm so lucky. I've joined the right company and this is great. And he follows up with her and he kind of like pushes her to set the day and time. And he shows up at the appointed place and she's not there. And he was told later by someone else, well, she probably didn't literally mean she wanted to have dinner with you, that was probably just her way of saying welcome to the company.
See, that to me, that's a one that's harsh.
It is harsh. I can see it happening, though. I can see it.
I could imagine it to the point of saying, hey, we should go out sometime. We should do lunch. I can see that. Yeah,
that's sort of in that vein, right? Or what I get is whenever I come to Japan, Japanese are always saying to me, let me know the next time you're going to be in town.
Yeah.
And for a while, I used to take that really literally. I'm like, oh, I have all these people I have to contact next time I'm in town.
Yeah.
They didn't really mean that.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get comfortable with that. So I can see that part.
Yeah.
And the giving in and saying, okay, I'll set a time because it's hard to say no, but then passively aggressively not showing up.
But it's not even.
I can see that happening.
But the thing is, for me, there's a great jump going between kind of, hey, yeah, we should totally do that sometime. Yeah. There's a big difference between that and actually setting a time and a place and letting that person go there and wait there by themselves. That's kind of cruel to me. And don't think for a minute in Japanese culture that there's a thing that it's okay to not show up.
Well, of course not. It's really not okay. It's sort of an unusual thing, but I could just see for a lot of Japanese people, it's very awkward to say no. And really awkward.
I mean, there's no though. It's like the train company wouldn't feel so awkward about saying the train isn't going to show up on time that they would just keep it a secret and let the train come late. And Japanese are very punctual. I mean, if there's a positive quality that I frequently ascribe. So I still have a thing with this that I could see the avoiding and I could see that sort of thing. It sounds to me a little bit like if I was the guy in that situation, it would feel a little bit to me like, oh, was this whole thing inappropriate? Is she backing? Is she suddenly worried that I've gone too far? I've just joined the company, and now I've already, got out on a quasi date, and is that just the worst thing ever?
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I've never actually run into that particular situation, and I don't really process how Japanese would think that there is a word in Japanese for getting stood up. In Japanese is dotakyan. But dotakyan doesn't just mean a date.
But yeah, and dotakyan, it could also be like canceling at the last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just being stood up, it's sort of like at the last minute someone kind of flakes out on you.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a little bit broader than being stood up.
It is. It's not a positive term in any you don't want to be associated with
No, it's not considered a good thing, right?
So, but I found it is really interesting that this happened, that she wanted to welcome this person to the office. But agreeing to go out to dinner and not going out. Yeah,
but I could just sort of see whatever initial thing she said may have been like, oh, minna de naneka taberi ikimashou. Like it may have been in that sense, and then when he may have misunderstood or wishful thinking, and then he kind of pushed her, and I know I had a situation. There was someone I was friends with from grad school, a Japanese gal, and I kind of look up my Japanese friends and have dinner with them when I came into town, and I had a couple times where I had looked her up and made plans with her, And then she canceled like a couple days before.
Yeah.
And I finally got the hint that actually she really didn't want to have dinner with me. And she kind of stopped seeing a lot of her grad school friends and kind of like gone off and done other stuff. But, you know, she wasn't going to say, no, Rochelle, I just don't want to hang out with you. She would make a plan with me and then cancel it fairly soon before. So it's not quite as bad as this situation, but I have experienced that. It's just really hard for Japanese to say no directly.
Well, you know what as well, though? And maybe, and it is true, it's hard for them it's hard to say no. At the same time, there is a thing that sometimes, if we've talked a lot about the work ethic, when Japanese have a busy day at work and they're up there showing the fighting spirit with the boss, that is a frequent and a completely legitimate excuse that's used honestly and sometimes dishonestly to get out of engagements.
I just can't come. I'm stuck at work. Yeah,
I'm stuck at work. I'm doing overtime. I really want to get on. I'm really sorry. We can schedule again for 2 months' time. And I know that sounds like I never want to see you again, but this is another thing. When I was dating Japanese women, one, when you're both working, it's completely normal in Japan for couples who are going out seriously to only meet once, sometimes every 2 weeks. I mean, sometimes not even once a week.
Yeah.
You've got one day together. You know, if they've got like other things that they do on the weekend and hobbies or whatever, that can take a whole day.
Right.
Work during the week. I'm working during the week. We can meet maybe on Sunday afternoon. And so
hard to get momentum that way.
Well, but they seem to, if people are deciding that their life is going to go in that direction where they're going to get married, you only have to see them once a week and you can still plan, and they'll be making wedding plans at that 1 day a week meeting or whatever. And I've experienced sort of dating like that. So there is a thing as well. Don't necessarily take it when someone says, "Oh, I'm still stuck at work," or someone
It could be true. Or
someone says, "I can't meet you for another month." I've dated people who I've had to schedule weeks ahead like that. So there can be some legitimacy to that, but there again, if you are being KY, if you feel like maybe I'm not reading the situation accurately, which is KY.
Yes. Kuki yomenai, unable to read the error.
You can kind of dig into that, and if you feel like that, so yeah, and maybe that is a thing. You're supposed to maybe get the message and back out, but don't necessarily take everything as being I never want to see you again. Sometimes it's genuinely not.
Right. It all depends on context.
Yeah.
And it depends on being sensitive too. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and it's a big thing, by the way, the dating thing. We're not here talking about dating, but I know it's a thing. A lot of foreigners come here and they have an expectation that they will see the person that they're dating 4 or 5 times a week.
Right.
The Japanese will have an expectation of once a week, and they'll say, "I'm sorry, I'm working." And I've heard foreigners say, "My girlfriend keeps saying that she's working. I'm sure she must be seeing someone else."
She's probably working.
And I'll tell you, she's probably working. This is Japan business time. We know.
Right, exactly.
She's probably going for a good evaluation from her boss by showing a good attitude.
Exactly, I know, exactly. Well, and frankly, this leads into Japanese not getting married, Japanese not having children.
Oh, yeah.
The work taking over everything else in your life. It has consequences on those sides too.
It really does.
Yeah.
So it's a complicated thing. I feel terrible for Sylvie's friend. That's a horrible story, but
it is sad.
As you can see, there's all these great sort of launch points for different really kind of important things and things that really catch a lot of foreigners off guard.
Yes, exactly.
So yes, come back next week. We will still be here in this much better lit restaurant now. I don't know what happened. Everything is brighter somehow.
We made some adjustments.
We made some technical adjustments. That's what we do. We're always making technical adjustments. Come back next week.
Kaizen.
Kaizen, that's right. So yeah, see you again next week. Peace.
Bye.